Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D4X today. 2D4X is a 2D4X strategy game, open source, made with Godot Net. You saw those things popping up. That's the my chat program that I got to do a different way now, and it makes those things pop up. They always pop up on the main screen. It's open source. Did I say that? I think I already said that. It's in Godot .net, which is the C# version. Here's Godot right here. I'm on 4.4 Dev 3, which seems to be working okay. I did have some weird shit happen with it the other day, though. I think my chat's working. Part of it came through. We're going to hope that the YouTube part... The problem is the YouTube part always has issues. So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I got to put in a bug report for these 5 bugs on, whatchamacallit, GitHub. But what we got here today is a list of stuff that we're going to go through. It's all basically is a bunch of little things and double checking things, lots of testing and things. And then as we go down, we're going to run into some larger things. County improvement output that takes more than 1 day. That's going to be a big one. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I didn't even think about that idea. So basically, as a 2D4X game, you're going to be building things kind of like Victoria 3 and, well, we should probably look at resources. You're going to be building these resources, and some of the resources you're going to get, 5 of them a day, and some of the resources it takes 5 days to make one of them. And I didn't even think about the 5 days that it would take to make one of them, like a tank. Until someone in chat mentioned it, and I was like, shit. I didn't think about that. So we're going to have to rewrite a little part of it. There's a warehouse that you can build also in the county improvements, converted warehouse. It doesn't do anything. We needed to do something. So a lot of little things like that. I don't know how far we'll get, but I feel like we're getting close. We're getting close to pushing to main, merging to main, and then once we merge to main, before we merge to main, actually, we will export a new version, and so that it's, it's playable. It's not fun or anything. It's not really a game yet. So what are we going to do here? We need to open up one of these things. Well, let's look for what's first on our list here. I don't know. It keeps jumping down this because I haven't selected. When a county improvement is instantiated in the panel, all right, so this is, we're going to need to open up our county improvement panel, which I'm assuming, I don't actually think this is not the thing we want, but it will open up a bunch of things. It takes a long time for this to open, for Visual Studio to open. Man, I've been doing a lot of editing in Word, and I wish that the Visual Studio editing stuff worked the same as in Word, like the other way around. I wish Word had the same editing abilities as Visual Studio. It's crazy how that Visual Studio has some things that are better. Like, they should merge the two editing things. So what we got to do is, actually, we're in it. We're in this. No, we're not. This control right here. I think it's this control. What are we doing? We're making sure that these numbers are right. So what it's talking about is it's numbering each thing that we add in, just to tell that they were. I just did that so I could tell that they are different, but I want them to be. This might be a pain in my ass now that I think about it. I want it to be. So basically, we'll just do it here. If you build a converted warehouse, it puts a 1 at the end so that you can tell that, like, if you were going to build 2 of them, it would have a 2 at the end. That's the idea behind it. But if you build this, it puts the 2 at the Fisher's shed. And what we want to do is we want to know the number. We want the number, this should be Fisher Shed 1 because it's the first Fisher Shed, That's what we want to do here. Where am I putting this number? I think we're going to have to put it in the county improvement data. Where am I adding this number to the end of this thing anyways? Seems like it should parents. I called it parent, really? It seems like it should be county improvement control. What happens if we close this and reopen it? Does it know? It does remember these things. I must be doing it here when it instantiates. Oh, I'm changing the name of it. So probably what we want to do is have it keep track of the number. And I had a number in there in the county improvement data, which is a resource. Got to get my brain warmed up to programming here. I did program a little bit last night, but it wasn't very long. Let's do this. Oh, but I could be all this stuff. Yeah, this is the container. I'm trying to think of the best way to search for this because I can't remember where the fuck it is. Adjust number of builders, plus, minus. It's going to be .name, but I don't think, yeah, see, like we have this here, probably .name. Yeah, I don't remember how I could have put it two different ways. So it's probably when it's instantiating it for the first time. No, it's not. It's probably when you're researching it and you complete the research is probably when, if I know myself, I would do it then. And there's a thing called research completed. We don't need this battle control open. We don't need this battle open. County AI, that seems like that should be up here. Banker, we're going to need, I looked at this. I looked at Rogue Legacy released their source code and it's in C#. And I looked at because I've always been saying that I wish I could see what a finished game looked like. And I looked at theirs and it's kind of interesting. We might look at it later. It's kind of interesting to see how a professional does it compared to me. They do it, obviously better. Let's see here. I'm going to double check YouTube there. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Make sure that shit's working. So this is going to be in research when you complete research, instead of me just going through here. I think it's called research completed. Going from memory. Let's not make it this way though. Maybe it's complete research. There it is. So when you complete a research, it adds the county improvements to all county improvements. Improvement name has been added. It's tornado. A new copy is being made. We're changing the name of the county improvement. The one thing we could probably search for is this. Did I call it improvement name? Yeah, this is going to be the next 3 hours of the stream, is just me looking for this one thing because I can't remember where I put it. And I can't remember what it's called. Did I call it improvement name or did I call it improvement name? So it's going to be improvement name. Yeah, the Rogue Legacy thing also uses interfaces, which is something I've been trying to add to my skill set, as they call it in this day and age. And improvement name equals that. Look at all these GD prints. Add a phrase has been completed. That's another thing we got to do. It's not alphabetizing stuff right, because it's alphabetizing it before it's translated. That's like next on the list. Where the fuck did I do this, man? Oh, what happened here? Selected, nope. We're translating all sorts of stuff. Status, we do like a lot of stuff to Here it is. County under construction improvement count +1. No, that's not it. That's something else. We're never going to find this. Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. Let's see. Let's go through the logic of when this would happen. So you go to here. You go to construct. You hit yes. So that's the building confirmation. Building confirmation dialog. And when you hit yes, it goes through. Here's the yes button. It's weird that this is like flashing. I noticed this yesterday. There's like, my computer's dying, I think. I need to get a new one or just, you know, reformat. It's been going on for a long time where the build improvement, it's probably in here. Okay, so wait, this is it. Yeah, so this is just taking the number of things in the list. I didn't think this was it because this is not a good way to do this. I mean, I guess it kind of is if we wanted a list of all of them numbered that way, but we don't. What we want to do this is, so the title of my video, I said I'm double checking stuff. I guess this is double checking stuff. The first thing we ran into is not really. It's just up to, I mean, okay. So this is just taking the list, how big the list is, and adding one to it. What we want to do is if it's man, it's gonna be kind of a pain to do this too. It's funny how there's like, you run into these things that feel like they're simple and they're actually kind of different. I wonder why it says that the Fisher shed and all those things were changed. No, I pushed the code at the end of last stream. This happens occasionally where like I see things are modified and I don't know. I guess I could click on it and see what it says changed. Location. Oh, we did get rid of location. Maybe I didn't push the code. Location wasn't needed after all. Even though it's weird to not have to do that. So, okay. So we have an improvement. It gets instantiated. It's the first one. We don't have a type of it. Like the types are not by name. I mean, we have types like this, but we don't have an exact type that exactly matches it. So we could, well, okay, this is what we could do. So where the fuck was that thing? I clicked away and now it's gone forever. Where was that thing? I didn't look where it was. Jesus Christ. This is going to be a great stream today of me just fucking around and not knowing what I'm doing. Or not knowing where I am at all. Building confirmation, build improvement, do the thing. Here it is right here. Number building is we're not building. Number improvement is what we're going to call this. And we're going to bust this out into a new method. And we're going to cut this. And we're going to put this in here. And we'll pass in a county improvement data. Whoops. And then we'll make it want that thing. How long did I search for that? 15 minutes? To code development. What is your thing here? You want a county data in here? Oh, right. We got to pass in the. Okay, that's fine. Let's put it right here. We'll put a comma there. We got a thing here. And so what we're going to do is, let's go look at our county improvement data. We used to have a thing that was like number of buildings that I got rid of because I didn't think we needed it. Let's not look at that. That's a disaster. No, it's not a disaster. This doesn't always copy the correct everything correctly. I think part of it is because I didn't have everything exported. You gotta have stuff to export, everything exported if you want it duplicated. And I wasn't aware of that. This isn't exported. That's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna put export on this. So when we save stuff, so I started working on a save system in a different game, and you got to have everything exported if you want to save resources. And oh, here's number built right here. There we go. We can put that into play. So everything has to be exported if you want to save a resource. It only saves the stuff that's exported. I don't want like this to be exported though, generally, because I don't want this to show up in the inspector. I wish you could put like export, but don't show an inspector. I wonder if that's a thing. Godot export, but don't show an inspector. That's the whole reason I was. How do I make show up? I don't want him to. And I don't want him to. So the thing is, it just gets confusing when you have a bunch of things that are all named similarly. Like this is a getter setter, so the only difference is a capital letter. And in the inspector, I think it's actually going to make this a capital letter. Let's build this and look. I bet you it does. Because that's its job, is to do that shit. And while we wait for this, I'm going to double check over here. Okay, so county improvement data, if we go to one of these, which is not there, right here, converted warehouse. What the fuck was I just looking at? It's current amount of construction. Yeah, so like these look the same. See, that's why I don't want that to do that. I don't see. All of these people want them to show up. I guess we could look at the docs, right? Read the fucking manual type of thing. Let's see the export properties. This means variable saved along with the resource, such as seeing they're attached to them. They also be available. Exporting is done by the export attribute. In that example, 5 will be saved. Visible and editable in the editor. This way, artists and game designers can modify values later, influence program, for example. Basic use. So that's one of the things I've been going through and doing, is making sure that my stuff that I don't edit in the editor doesn't have export on it. But it turns out I need export on there for when I save the stuff. It doesn't look like there is any thing that is going to not show it, so we'll just live with it. I'll be confused in the future. I wish I could see my future self go, what the fuck? Why are there 2 of these here? Anyways, okay, we were sidetracked there, but we did find the number built. And so let's go back down to this thing where we're copying stuff. This big disaster, number built. Look like I have this just commented out. Perfect. We're going to need number built. We're going to go back to our build dialog. This is in County AI. County AI, we have the number improvement. Number built. I'm going to rename this number improvement, number built. I don't know. It's whatever. So if it comes through, it's going to have to, so let's think about this. So there's 3 different lists basically in every county. There's an under construction list. There's a list of all of them. But the list of all of them is pulled from a faction level. So the faction level, it doesn't keep track of how many are built in the thing. It just keeps track of, could we pull that from there? No, we don't want to do that. It'll look dumb anyways. So there's a list of all of them, of everything you can build. There's a list that's under construction, and then there's a list of completed. And those are 3 different lists, like C# lists or something, or Godot collection lists. We need to tell it under construction and in the completed that this number built is been updated. So we're going to have to put that number in the number built. So the first time you build one, it should add in, it should put a 1. And then the next time, but it needs to check, is there a number already, is this thing already built? If it goes through the under construction and it hits, let's say, so back to our little example here, we have 2, no, let's say it's trying to build the Fisher's shed. We can't do it by, we can do it by type though. I was going to say we can't do it by name because I want to make it so the player can edit these if at some point, 100 years from now. But also the name wouldn't match because there's going to be a 2 at the end. Or whatever, a number at the end. So we'll go through the list. So let's just do this. For each county improvement data, county improvement data. What is this thing? This is building 1. So this is building this thing. Man, this is actually kind of a pain. County improvement data 1, but I don't want to call it that. We'll say built. We'll call it built county improvement. Look at that suggestion. County data under construction. We actually could make this a method. Like find duplicate or something. In fact, we should, because we're going to have it go through 2 lists. We'll do that right now. This is going to be a clusterfuck. Okay, not a clusterfuck. It's going to have a lot of stuff in it. How long is this? Looking at that Rogue Legacy code made me, people have been telling me this for a while, but it's weird. And we'll look at the legacy thing. So anyways, in Rogue Legacy, they have broken down, as everyone keeps telling me to do, and I kind of was doing this when I was working on this with Unity, was have it much smaller chunks of code in each file. So each one of these files would have much smaller amounts of code in it. Its code would only be for what it did. So so for example, County AI has a bunch of different things it does, right? But we would break it down, and so that County AI would just have one little thing that it did, and then the next file would have a different, name, and then it'd be a public class, and it would have another thing, and that's all it would do. The problem I have with that is I can't find any of that stuff. Wind, how's it going? I can never find that stuff. So I guess I got to click through. And when I have all these files, I just find it very hard to find anything. The circus has arrived, huh? How's your evening going? Did you go to the sauna yet? I'm doing good. This yammering. Yeah, we're going to call this, find duplicate. See, I think this should be in county improvement data, but this is getting out of control. No, it shouldn't be in there. It should be in county data because it's comparing it to the lists in here. But this thing's 700. Look at this thing. I mean, some of it we can get rid of. What is this? I don't know what this is. This is my rule. If I look at something and I don't know what it is, I just delete it. I saved it there for some reason. But yeah, this thing's 700, 800 long. So I guess we will put this in County AI and then we'll bust it out even more. How's your game going, Win? Private. Oh, you know, a new thing I've been doing is getting rid of that private as well. Find duplicate improvement. And then this is going to need a county data. No, it's not. It's going to need a list. How did I do these lists? Let's look. This is a list, just a straight up list. I've been using a lot more Godot lists lately. Joker, how's it going? I was just talking about that Rogue Legacy code. List county improvement data. It's just a straight up list. So this is going to be a list of county improvement data. And I think this wants something here. And then this is going to be county improvements datas. And then we'll go like this. What is your problem? You don't know what this is? Watch that. Yeah. Slowly using Godot. I am using. I knew you would be happy that I am using more Godot. Slowly re-implement. I feel like that's what I do. The last 50 streams is just looking at stuff and going, what the fuck is this? There's a better way to do this, I hope. All right. You know why I've been using more Godot lists is because I've been finding it's easier to find troubleshoot problems when you can see it in the inspector, and it's you can't do a normal list. So yeah, that's been the thing. So we're gonna pass in. This doesn't go here though. This is gonna go up here. And then we're gonna put this here, and then we're gonna cut this, and then we're gonna put this here, except I think this is gonna return a bool. You know what we can do? We can have it return an int, and it will find the number of duplicates. Duplicate improvements. So it'll go like that, and then we'll deal with that in a second. We're going to read for each one of these built county improvement. Well, these aren't actually built. These are county improvement data. Oh, you don't have a problem with this anymore? I had a problem with that being called that earlier. For each one of those in this list, no. This is gonna be different. We're gonna need this, but it's gonna be down here. We're gonna go int. This is gonna be under construction. Hey, do you guys know if there's a way to export a variable but not show it in the inspector? Under construction improvements, int completed improvements. That's what we're getting here. Copy. And then this is going to be under, there we go. All right. Now we haven't done anything, of course. This is going to be an int number. Sure. Int number. If county improvement data, so int number, int number. So I think if I go like, if this county improvement data equals this county improvement data, we need to pass in what we're building to. Find, this is going to be a county improvement data called, actually, let's put this over here though. Let's get rid of this. And this is going to be called original county improvement data, I guess. Original. That doesn't. So if I do this, let's do this the other way though. Original is equal to county improvement data. I don't think it's going to work. What I want it to do is find that type. So I think I got to do get type. And I don't know if this will work either. And then I got to go get type over here. Because I want it to find just the type. I don't think, so if I say equals, I think it's going to try to find the exact equal. But we don't need it. We don't want it to be the exact one because we might change things. I think that's what it's going to happen. What is this going to print? Or what is this going to find? I'm pretty sure it's going to type. I think it's going to work. I'm going to take your guys' silence on the duplicate or on the export, but not showing the inspector thing as that not being possible. We're going to return whatever, 1, just to make this thing shut up. Now we're missing a thing here. We're going to put a county improvement data, this one. It'd be so nice if you couldn't do it. I guess I don't really need to put that private one. No, it might need to be saved. Yesterday, somehow I was able to run 2 of these at the same time. I don't know how it happened. And I couldn't believe it. Different game, though. But I was like, what is going on here? This is like so there was like this old one floating around that hadn't stopped. So how we're going to do this to see that that thing runs and gives us the type. We're going to construct here, and it's probably going to get us an error. But what we want to see is type. I guess this isn't going to be tested correctly. Oh, maybe that's the better solution. Maybe that's the better solution. Let me put that in here before I immediately forget. See if, like serialize or something like that. See if there is a way to save a variable with something else besides export. And we'll just, yes, this is an issue because I need to look. And that's a great idea. You know, the other day, I think it was last night, it suggested some weird thing that I'd never seen. The code suggested, this actually should be at the bottom here. Visual Studio was like, you know, compatibility or something. It was very strange that it suggested this weird thing that I never typed, but I was curious. I should have just Googled it right then. Where was I putting this? I want this to be just like right here. Do we have a county improvement just for testing? I just want to see what it returns. That's all I care about right now. I just want to, what is this build improvement? Always waiting for something. I was reading some issues and someone was talking about okay, so that's not going to work. So what we needed to do is we can compare, I guess we're going to compare the name. That means that we can't let the player change the name. But that's okay, I guess. And then we'll use that number built to be added onto the end. So we're going to have to compare name. What else do we got in here? Let's look at one of these and maybe there's something obvious. Like we could compare the texture. That's not going to ever change. If I put in like a test texture though, that's the same as another one. Improvement name. And I guess, yeah, we won't allow the player to change the name. I don't see another way to do this without making it quite a pain in the ass. We could make another enum, you know, blah, blah, blah. All right, we'll just compare the name, and we won't let them. I just got to remember that not to let the player change it. Who cares, right? Are they really going to go in there and rename their Fisher's Shed to Josh Cook's Fisher Shack? Maybe. I could see myself doing that. All right. If original county improvement data dot improvement name equals county improvement data dot improvement name, then we say number plus. What's your fucking problem? We have to have a starting point. Fine. There's your starting point. And we'll change this to number. Okay. So if it's going to go through each thing on the list, and if it does, then it's going to let's rename this though and call this count duplicate because it's going to whoops. You see that shit? My muscle memory knows that I just type counties all the time. Okay. It's going to return a number. We got these numbers. It's going to add all the numbers together, and then it's going to do nothing. It's actually going to go to here, county improvement data dot number built is going to equal number of county improvements plus. So, whoa. We don't want to do that. So now we know the actual number. Yeah, so the thing that it's going to build, it's going to go through both lists, count duplicate improvements, and if they're the same improvements, it's going to add them up. If there's nothing there, it's going to be 0 and 0, and we're going to add 1, and then down here, we're just going to put in, what is this shit? We're just going to put in number built. county improvement data number built to string. Yeah, we can get rid of this. To string still needs to be there. Why is to string? Do we not have a fucking quote in here? What's going on here? It's because this thing's down here. Just Jesus Christ. We'll just leave this string in here. Who cares, right? There we go. All right, let's test this. I feel like I forgot something important. But we'll find out. All right, so we go to our county improvements. Everything should not have changed at this point. We say yes to that. County improvement warehouse is 0. So it should be 1. So what is the problem here? So it returns a bunch of zeros. So it counts these, there's none. Counts these, there's none. It adds the nones together. And number built equals plus plus. So let's put a GD print in right here. County improvements number built. And then we're going to go. Actually, let's put a squigs on this because, there's going to be squigs. A thing here. Because there's going to be a bunch of these. We're going to do. I guess we're going to have. I guess we're going to have something here. I was thinking we could just put these all in a row, and we could, but then if I just put a number in there, I'm gonna have to search for that number, and I'll never be able to find it. So we'll just do whatever here. We'll do it professionally. Well, I don't know. This is number built. We're gonna do under construction. Under construction improvements. I did the thing again. And more things. Under. And then I actually want this to be above here. We'll copy this whole line. We'll put it here. We'll cut that. This is going to be completed. And this is going to be completed. Okay. And I'm still checking YouTube to make sure that the comments chat works. All right, we just have to build one here. And zero, zero, zero. Number of duplicate improvements. So this should be 0 and this should be 0 and 0, but we're putting a plus plus on here. Is there some? I wonder if there's something I don't understand about that plus plus. Shouldn't it incrementally go up? Is this is the improvement being built? Am I missing? Is my plus plus wrong? County improvement, data, county improvement, more pluses. What happens if you do put more pluses in there? It doesn't like that. I was curious, you know. Number of duplicate. I'm making sure that I'm. under construction, because if I put a +1 equals what if it's 2 pairs of 2 pluses? Two. No. It wants +1 here. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wonder why I must not understand something with the incremental thing. It's adding plus she just adds 1, I thought, onto it. Maybe I'm what the fuck? Maybe I don't know shit about anything. It's possible. Whoops. Plus. Um is after it has been read. 11 something. How's it going? Plus number adds it before. Either one of those should have worked, but it didn't. Plus number adds it before. I didn't even know you could put it before there. Thank you. Let's see what this, but it doesn't tell. Normally it says, you know, see that time it worked. I don't understand. Normally it would say, Visual Studio would say like, turn this into plus. I'm going to put it before because I didn't know you could do that. Now I'm curious if that would solve the problem. I think I just saved it. Well, that worked too. So why is it, so I am misunderstanding something fundamental here. So let's go back to this. You want to crash? You know, the thing, so what did I do? I put it on my Discord. I dragged something into a node and it crashed it. It was like that I can't remember. It was something that was 2D into a node thing. Yeah, and that doesn't work. So why is this not, so why wouldn't this work? So why does it matter? Number of duplicate improvements is 0 at that point. Postfix increment operator and the prefix, as Levin was saying here. The result is the value after the operation before so this is gonna give us 3. Oh, that's what you mean when you say after it has been read. What? I wonder if that's fucked me elsewhere and I didn't know it. And I was like, okay, all right, okay. So it reads this thing, which, you know, it's handing it over to here. Then it adds this on here. That's fucking bonkers. Okay, let's put it right there. I'm used to the plus thing, so now if I see a +1 at the end, I'll wonder why it's there, and then I'll change it. And so let's do it this way, though, and then I'll wonder why this is here, and then I'll remember. Thank you so much, because that changes everything. Got to read the docs, like I was saying earlier. I wonder if I've done this before. I mean, I've probably done +1 100,000 times. I guess the capitals, it can't find it. What's your problem here? What are you doing? I probably have a space. Whoops. I probably have a space in here. Whoops. All sorts of shit has gone south here. Don't control Z in there, huh? Readings for nerds, right? +1. Why can't you find this? I've never used this. I've never added anything together. There was just a +1 here that I got rid of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, let's double check that this is still working. I mean, it should, but I just, whatever. Oh, that means YouTube's working too. The YouTube chat is working. All right, let's build one of these. Okay, so we have a converted warehouse that's 1. And then now let's see if the Fisher Shack should also be 1 because we're converting, we're counting different things. And it is 1. Now let's build another warehouse here. And it should be 2. And it's not. Okay, so what is the problem with this? The problem with this is that now it should have still... Oh, the problem is that we just changed the name of the thing, so they're not matching. So what we want to do is we want to make it so it only checks the beginning of the name. Like after the space? No. Wait, did we change the name? We shouldn't have changed the name. We did. We didn't want to do this. This is wrong. This translation thing is wrong. What we want to do... The improvement... Yeah, we don't want to do this. What we want to do is... I want this for elsewhere, though. When we populate the county improvement container, which happens to be right here, this is what we want to do. And I have this thing still on my clipboard here, just in case. Okay, I guess I don't have it on my clipboard. Not a big deal. Plus, I want a space in here, so let's do it like this. But I guess this needed, we didn't have any issues with translating that. Huh. I think we're going to. But let's do this first here. Let's get rid of this thing. And okay, so that way you guys can see it all. County improvement data plus, so this is what we want to do every time. We don't want to change the name of the thing. We want the name to be what we want to add the number built at the end. I don't think this is going to translate now, though. It could, but let's see. I think that's the problem when you put it inside the squigs. So we're gonna do one of, yeah. Oh, it's putting the fucking 0 up there, though. You know, my disgust with that. We could do different things here. We can, oh, I was like, I keep wanting to fix these. I was like, this is an easy fix, but then I keep forgetting it's this weird sorting of a list. Where were we? So this thing is built into this container itself. So we are going to have to translate this, by the way, but that's not a big deal. I don't really want this 0 here. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It just, I think it's unprofessional when you see that in games. If, like my game's notes are like filled with like, what is this dumb shit? And then I'm worried about it being unprofessional, right? It always like, I know that like there's something weird going on if there's zeros when they should be ones, or they shouldn't show up. We could put a little if-then statement, like if the number built is 0, do it this way, else do it this way. In fact, that's what I'll just do. Who gives a shit, right? If number built, it's like the easiest, is equal to 0, do this. We got a quote missing. Else, do this. And then get this the fuck over here. What is your problem? I somehow copied and did something. County improvement. What is going on here? Description, improvement. I got like an S in there or something. Improvement, description, label will always be that. So this is the thing. It looks like it will translate it if it's not inside the squigs. Then we got to force it. You could also number equals question mark, string empty. So those things. So I'm not ready for that yet. That's what ChatGPT always does. It tells me to make them like that, and I do it, but I'm not. So to me that means nothing. Like my brain hasn't. I'm copying it out of chat right now. My brain. I'm just learning. Yeah, slowly. My brain doesn't. That looks like gibberish to me. Like all the question marks and shit. And that's like one of the things, the simplification that it wants me to do. It's going to turn this into more gibberish to me. So if I do this, see, it's got the dots at the beginning and stuff, and that just looks like, to me, this is like unreadable. So that's why I keep leaving that there. I should have suppressed that. At some point, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna be ready for it. Okay, so that should work, I hope. And I'm gonna take a break here in a second. Oh, I still have kind of a lot of coffee left. Converted warehouse. Construct. Converted warehouse 1. Converted warehouse 3. Why'd you get 3? Let's look over here. So so now it's doing it ahead of time. Wait. Under construction and completed. Completed shouldn't have 1 inside of it. This shit isn't completed. Neither of these are completed. Is that for real? Oh, I probably have a mistake. It's probably counting the same. Where was that thing? It's probably counting the same list. I probably put in the same list twice, right? That's got to be. Here, I called it count something. I want this button though. except that's not going to help us. Where was that? County improvement container. It was under the county AI. We were counting these things. We have under construction. This is the problem. I think it's completed. There we go. That is the problem. Hey, Lord Mac, how's it going? How's life in the fast lane? All right. None of that garbage. We got a 1 there. We got a 2. Perfect. Then let's build something else. Here, garden. Should be 1. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. We did end up using that variable. Let's get this shit off my list. Where's my list? The park trails. No fast lane. I was walking, to get coffee this morning, and cars were driving by, and I had a similar thought. Like, here I am strolling slowly through the neighborhood, still half asleep. Okay, let's close this issue. This issue's done. And let's look at this export a value without, or save a value without it being exported. Godot save resource. Here's that packed string array that I saw you using. Joker. This is a real-time game. It's kind of inspired by like CK3 and like Dominions and stuff, with different counties. And these are just our test counties so far. It takes place in North America. Just because I had to limit it. I would like to do the full world, but I think I'll have too many counties when that happens. But yeah, and you can see all the population who live there. That's kind of the whole thing I wanted to do, is like a Dominions-esque thing. You know, I don't know if you've ever played Dominions, but Dominions get all those heroes on the side. Like, I was like, it'd be cool if you just kept track of everyone who lived everywhere. Oh, you couldn't find a way to do it? That's a bummer. I swear I saw something. That's a good idea too, actually. That's a great idea, because at least I'll be able to look at it and be like, what is this shit? And no. Let's go back up to this. Where is this one? Because this is the one that is the big problem, because it shows up the same in the inspector as this one. Whoops. Export group. And I'm going to move that to somewhere. And we'll call it not really, not for inspector. And then we'll put this whole thing. And then there's going to be other ones too, but we'll put it at the top. And then I can just minimize that shit. Or whatever it's called. Let's see how this looks. And then we can take that off. That's 2 in a row, and then I'll take a quick break. Yeah, I might, obviously, I like to rename things every 7 seconds, so I'll probably rename that at some point. But that's a great idea. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Let me throw up my break timer and stop my music that you guys can't hear. And I will be right back. All right, I am back, and I'm going to turn off my break timer. I'm going to put my phone on its charger, and I guess I'm going to start some music that you guys can't hear because the deathly silence drives me insane. And let's see, we fixed this other thing, so let's get this out of here. We did. Here, I'll put a note in this time. An export group that says they shouldn't be shown or whatever we did. Close with comments, and we can get rid of that thing. Finished improvements are not alphabetized. Okay, so this is a weird double check. So what's happening is when we finish an improvement here, we're going to have to do it differently because the name. You know what we could do? Because this is actually going to screw shit up. What we just did, the way we're naming things, no. If we put, so this is the problem. A converted warehouse is the problem, and I think the problem is in our localization. So let's just look first, and then we can go to our thing here. Go to our thing. I'm pretty sure, and then that also means that it's not. No, it is converted warehouse. I was thinking that I had this as a different name, so I wonder why this isn't working. Let's test it. This is the double checking we got to do. I don't know why it does that sometimes now. So if we go and we build a converted warehouse, where was it? I'm trying to think of when this was happening. Fisher's Shed. Converted warehouse, Fisher's Shed. Maybe it's not happening how I'm thinking. Garden. In a researcher's office. All right, so under construction it's working. We got to run this for a while, and then we'll wait for it to all get built. There's one thing is built. We got to get rid of this shit too. It's too much. It's too much. Can't tell what the fuck's going on over here. Researcher thing is completed. Let's look here. Fisher's Shed 1, converted warehouse 1. See, there's the problem. Garden. And then, where's the other, what happened here? We have a new problem. Copy error. Index is out of range. Must be negative, non-negative and less than the size of the collection. Which one are you complaining about here, buddy? 156 on county improvements. Panel container. 156. Check if research is assigned. What time did we pause this? Whoa, it was still, time was still running. Maybe that's part of the problem. Control G is go to line. Oh, thank you. That's a, let's test it. What are we doing? 156? 156. Perfect. Thank you. It's weird when this is like a different color. Okay, so we got that same error. This we did, and this was working. So let me look at another thing. I have a theory here that there's nobody. It's probably I was waiting longer. Okay, so the issue is that everyone's working. And so there is nobody that's able to work there. So this is, and I've never built that many things. Okay. So under this, we could just put in if this count to solve that problem. What's it going to do though? If I do, I guess we'll just do it. And, where is this at? This is going to be in a bunch of different spots. Okay, I take that back. It's only one spot. If county improvement data population is greater than 0, is equal to 0, return. I don't think we need this other crap, right? We're hiding and showing a bunch of shit down here, so maybe we do need this other crap. Oh, this is a list. Whoops. Count. Come on. If research, current research, so this is checking the population to see if they have, and then we say assign the research. Okay, so we do need this thing. But we don't need that thing because it's actually not. So this assign research is that there's a thing, there's a label that says that you need to assign a researcher in the panel. And then this is the assigned research thing, blah, blah, blah. We actually don't need it. I don't think we need this stuff. We'll find out in 2 seconds here. Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I still have coffee left. I can't believe it. I got to build a bunch of shit. And then we'll go and we'll fix this other thing. We'll figure out why this isn't alphabetizing researchers. Luckily, I constructed that thing. Or attempted to construct it. And we'll need to make sure that oh, did I not build enough things? Because it has a person. It has a person. You know, we can test our prioritized shit here too. Because it was, oh, right, the lumberjack shack or station or whatever the fuck it's called. No, I don't want another one of those. Scouting equipment, put that on there. It has a ton of construction needed for testing. Let's let this run for a second. Okay, it's done. That's ugly. So we gotta put a prioritize. Whoops, not on this shit. Yeah, we gotta fix that too. God damn it. When scouting, scouting equipment is being built, the name is too long in the population list. All right, up. We're going to put that after the thing that we're actually working on, though. And Let's see if this prioritized stuff works. You're not going to be done for an eternity. Lumberjack station. You're almost done. This is nice that this is working. Let's wait. Let's prioritize this thing. Yeah, because there's only 2 people working here. So let's see if that goes. A day has passed here. And what the fuck did I just prioritize? I thought this said under construction for a second. I prioritized the Fisher's Shed. There's 5 people working here now. What is this one? The converted warehouse doesn't need any people is the problem. We gotta wait 1 more day. I think. Yeah. And man, I was lucky that I just randomly put that shit. This isn't no, it is. We want to prioritize this one. And now that should take off that person here. Except it didn't. And I think that, because I have a note later to make sure that this works. Let's see if we fire that person, what happens. We should also probably have this up so we can see any bugs here. Now let's get another day go by. Researcher's office is 0, so that's not a problem anymore. And this is okay. So whatever we did seemed to have saved or have solved the problem. And let's double check that these things are really hard to see. I know I've complained about that a bunch of times, but I need to fix that. It's like hard to tell the time, like everything just kind of blends into a big pile of garbage. So none, 0. A place for books and reading. That all looks right. I think we solved that problem. We'll find out later. Okay, so back to this thing with the... Do I just have this wrong? That list is going to be here. It's one of these things, actually. No, this is under county data. Maybe we don't have it alphabetized is the problem. So when this thing appears, create all the buttons. Create improvement buttons. This is for the possible. This is for the currents. This is for the is there not a stream of eventual events like remove a person from queue, add person to queue? There's a bunch of crap in here that I actually want to get rid of most of it. Because it's just filling up like this. This is like old tests that I have. Is that what you're meaning, or are you meaning something else? I what I need to do is have 2 different GD print type things that I do. I should put like a test, like a test thing like here, which means that I can delete them later and then real ones. Because there's like the ones that I used earlier just for that, that one thing that I immediately commented out afterwards. And those are deletable, I can delete them. And then there should be other ones that I want to leave in the game forever. For like, if a person turns in their debug log or something to me. So where were we alphabetizing the construction thing? Because this to me looks like it's just sticking these in here. And I think we were, well, we don't have, let's go back here and double check. Yeah, I have too many. I have too many logs though. You know what I also want to do is timestamp the logs because it's useful later. Not when you're in this, it's generally okay. So let's see. Converted warehouse. Let's not do that one first. Let's do the Fisher shed first, and then we'll do the converted warehouse. See, this is alphabetizing it. So where is it doing that? So here's it's creating the county improvement buttons, and then for each one of these, a list of county improvements, all county improvements. This is pulling it from so here's the under construction list. What kind of list is this? This is just a normal C# list. So this is the container, then county improvement. This needs to be above add child. If all county improvements. Oh, right. Okay. But I don't see any alphabetizing here going on. So where is that happening? Do I have, this goes through all the county improvement lists and generates them for the player UI. Like this one is probably not very useful anymore. That's like, it just gives us a count of all the, that's like some debug thing that I was using. So I don't see where it's alphabetizing this, but it must be because we did the Fisher's shed first. And then this one's second. Except that I've noticed so let's do the garden. And the garden, oh, that's alphabetized. Let's redo this. It's starting out alphabetized. Let's do like the researchers thing. I'm a cream and sugar guy. 2 sugars at this place. They use that whole, organic whole sugar, you know? It's like rocks of sugar. How about you? Do you drink coffee? So we have researcher's office, lumberjack. So it's definitely alphabetizing these things. But at what point? Is it when this it's got to be, we could probably just, well, I'll leave that there for now. This goes through create county improvement buttons. I see no, it just adds it to the parents. Where's this parents thing? It's called parents. Okay, we pass in the parent. Is there any, and then nothing else happens. We must have another thing somewhere that is refreshing this or something. It's gonna be, well, like 2 lists or something, unless I use that dot stuff. So this is under county data, sort possible workers. No, we don't want that. What's this? Find faction-owned neighbor counties. County population generation. I didn't use that many lambdas, so maybe at the beginning of the stream, I said this whole stream is going to be me searching code and not be able to find anything. It'll be 3 hours of it. It'll be quite exciting. Without a filter, do you get like a thing at the bottom of just grounds? Do you do like, or do you like do the Turkish coffee, I think it's called? All right, so let's go through how this works, because we got to find somewhere. It's got to be in here somewhere. So it doesn't do it there. Maybe it does it like on ready, and for some reason it's over here. Adjust, get lower. Not here. Here. So this thing, and we're gonna put this in a better spot probably. This switch, I thought we made this switch better last time, but I guess not. I mean, we made it somewhat better. I wonder, let's go back to this other thing, actually. Where was that? Two lists. Creates a list of where's our alphabetized people thing? We know the under construction, here we go. So what about like order by, if we do this? It's still a county population thing. Here we go. Add county improvement to all county improvements. Here is something. You got to be careful then with like the last sip or the last 3 sips. Add county improvement to all county improvements. So this is when research is done. It adds this in. Did I do something crazy? Like put a signal in? Okay, it's called buildings. Maybe it's in here. This is open already somewhere. I thought it was. Yeah, so this runs here. Build improvement, maybe it's in here. Here it is. So when you build an improvement, it does it here, but this is not a good spot for this. This is a terrible spot for that. Let's get rid of it here. I still have it on my clipboard. I was thinking about you the other day because of the mussels. I know you like mussels, and I don't know why it popped in my head, but I was like, mussels seems like such a strange thing to eat as in our current state, like, and like that. People, natives in the United States used to eat that shit all the time because it's like all over the place on the West Coast. Well, it used to be, especially in California. Where was I going? What was I doing? So what we should do is when this thing in the Create County Improvement button, at the end, we should sort whatever list we just put in here. For each, all right, so we're instantiating it here. Why don't we sort the list at the beginning? And we don't need the county data here. Why don't we put in this list of county improvements, and we sort it and we compare it by name. So we pass in this list. I just thought of a way to not have this bool here. It totally has nothing to do with anything, but I was like, why is this bool here? Yeah. So when I took anthropology classes, I was in San Diego. So they obviously talk about Native Californians more there, but like that, obviously any ocean is filled with food, especially in like a desert. you know, Southern California's desert. Less so now, of course, because we take all the water from the Colorado River. But okay, so if we sort this list by improvement name here, I think this will work because then it goes through the list and it just adds them in, right? Hopefully. Let's see. Eating mussels is clinical, or the association is clinical. All right, so let's see if let's first. No, not you. Fisher's Shed. We haven't got any bugs. No, that's what I would expect. Okay, so that worked for this one. And then let's throw in like just a bunch of shit here. Not the lumberjack station. Let's just like construct this and construct a couple of those and then construct one of those. And then we'll speed this up. Yeah, and the coffee thing, like if I have to, I'll drink coffee without cream and sugar, but I prefer it's like I think milk is incredibly disgusting. Converted, Fisher, garden, researcher. That was it. That was the solution. That was easy. And that moved it away from that dumb fucking spot. Yeah, so the only like milk product I drink is like half and half in my coffee. You know, I used to try to do like the almond milk or whatever, you know, some other associated, because the milk is so just fucking gross. Some other thing, but it always has this like weird cloudiness that is gross. When scouting equipment is being built, the name is too long. This is that thing we just looked at, but I don't have any scouting equipment. One of the solutions we could do is have a limit to the number of a name. Scouting equipment workshop. We could call it like scouting workshop or something. Because this is going to be kind of hard to do. I wish we could do the thing. This is one of the things that Unity does better. It's one of the few things that Unity does better is there's a checkbox for text where you can just tell it to shrink to fit a text field. We could. I gotta go find my thing here. Yeah, I wish they had some sort of synthetic milk that wasn't so gross. It's not that it's gross; it just doesn't work as it's supposed to. There is that like there's some sort of vegan creamer that is pretty good, but coffee shops usually don't have it. It acts exactly like milk. What was I just thinking about? There's a thing we can do if we find where's my scenes resources. County scenes old. I don't know why I'm saving that. It's my pack rat nature. Scenes. There should be. UI scenes is what it's called. And we want. County improvement. No, it's going to be under population row button is this thing. I wonder if there is like a just cut off trim. Wonder if this will do the trick. Don't you have little houses of raw milk there? What do you mean, little houses? So I, you know, unpasteurized milk. Bad for you, but I've told this story a bunch of times. My aunt used to have goats, and she would spray the goat milk when we were kids directly into our mouth, like a whoosh. And looking back, I'm disgusted by it, but I loved it as a kid. It was like the most fun I've ever had in my life, you know. Uh, Scouting equipment. Where are you, scouting equipment? We got to finish researching it. Machines that sell raw milk. We do not have machines that sell raw milk. I don't even know what that is. Vending machines. I have to look this up. Vending machines that sell milk. Is it pasteurized milk? The fuck is this? Oh, you like go and you put your glass thing in there? That's what I would assume. But it depends where he is. No, we do not have these. These do not exist. But this doesn't necessarily mean it's these don't just, at least they don't exist in anywhere I've lived in the United States, which is just San Diego and Portland. I visited Montreal. Montreal, they have the bags of milk, which I was surprised. Like, what is that? When my roommate came home with a bag of milk. Oh, look, it says raw milk right here. You have to boil it before consuming. Is it really inexpensive? Is that the bag milk actually makes more sense? Because then you have that container. It's like a plastic container that you just put the bag in, you know, and you cut the corner of the bag, and instead of having like, or glass, anything that's, you know, like not a plastic thing. What country is this? No, I want to do none of these options. East Lancashire, isn't that England? I don't want to do any of those options. Yogurt and cheese. Huh. Ammo machines. This is this is more American. This is a more American site where you can buy your bullets straight out of a vending machine. Milk, no. Bullets, yes. Huh. Well, you really do learn something new every day. So you boil it first, huh? And that does the trick? Now I'm going to look up the cheese. Yogurt and cheese vending machine. Oh, look, it says that there's a new one in Philadelphia, but this is probably not what you were talking about, right? Right, exactly. It's the dichotomy, you know. It's so that if you're in a hurry to go shoot up a school or something, you have time. You know, you're gonna stop by the vending machine. Is it like this or is it something different? Oh, this is Switzerland. Well, that kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, I mean this makes I could see this happening. The milk thing, I couldn't see happening, especially on if it was pasteurized, I could see it more likely. But the thing is, I don't think people would bring containers. The container issue is the thing. People don't like. They like to just throw the shit on the ground when they're done with it. You know, like you drink it and you just throw it on the ground. That's the American way. All right, what were we doing next? Oh, right, we were testing this. So I needed the research to finish so we could build scouting equipment. I guess I could look at our research stuff here. 18%, that's a long time. Are we at times 8 here? You know what we could do? We could just tell it at the beginning to be done, be researched. It will also test to make sure that if there's no research to be done, we've already tested 100 times, but you know, wrong direction here. There we go. My parents actually just went to Switzerland a couple of years ago. I guess not just. They went all over that area. Okay, so let's construct this thing. And I just want to see how bad this is going to look with the cutoff. There should be people working there. I'm just going to do it. I think it's fine. I don't want to rearrange this whole thing. I do want it so you can click that eventually and it goes to what they're building. And that's on the list here, so maybe we'll fuck with that more. But that's good enough for now. This shit it's just got to be useful before we go to the beautification project issue, whatever. Written a book collection of law by guys like 20 years that there are banks in the U.S. that offer guns. Yeah, I remember reading about that, where like if you open a new account, yeah, you could get a gun like an AR-15 or something. I don't think it was 20 years ago. I think it was more recent than that. I think it was an AR-15 bank free gun. Oh yeah, it was in Bowling for Columbine. So that was like 20 years ago. Time flies. I wonder if it's still happening. Yeah, wow. Time really does flying. What'd you think? I haven't shot a gun. I don't know if ever. I have like these vague memories of shooting a 22, but I'm wondering if they're like some sort of not real, like dreams or something. But I have even you know my fellow anti-gun people are have said shooting guns is really fun. My anti-gun socialist crew. But I didn't say the socialist part because I was thinking that some socialists are not anti-gun at all. That would be a generalization. Some crazy liberals are not anti-gun at all. Let's close one of these things out so we only have two rows. Resource panel. Yeah, we don't need you. All right, next on the list. Test that the goods dictionaries are really copying and not duplicating. Test that the goods dictionaries are really copying and not duplicating. So how would I test that, and what the fuck am I talking about? Two goods. So these are the dictionaries I'm talking about. Do they need to... What'd you think? Did you go to like a gun shooting place? So that's the pro-gun liberal. I guess it's also the right wing. So if you go right far enough and left far enough, sometimes they have the same things. It's the free men bear arms concept, where you have enough guns, you can you can stop tyranny. Shooting range in Poland. They have any machine guns? Sometimes they have like crazy machine guns you can fire, but I think it's really expensive because the cost of ammo that you're burning through. I don't know what I was talking about here. It's from 2 weeks ago. Test that the goods dictionaries are really copying and not duplicating. Why would we want to copy them at all or duplicate them? Trying to think what the place where we're doing goods is. So we're, I could just be calling it goods. Oh, I think I remember what I'm checking here. Yeah, that's the problem, is it doesn't work. I don't think it works. It probably worked fine, for a while, but I think that nukes is definitely a thing, but also like just modern jets and stuff. It's all airstrikes and drone strikes. I mean, they have those bladed drones now that they can hit and just kill the one person that they want, like the ninja drone or whatever it's called. It's a lot, There should be built-in ways for people to, resist to the government. But I mean, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a realistic thing that's going to happen as armed insurrection in this day and age with a bunch of, people with assault rifles. I think what I'm talking about here is making sure that each faction and county has its own number of goods and stuff. We know that counties do because we had that issue where I couldn't build stuff because it was broke, like there wasn't enough in this particular place, but we could double check that. So let's see. This place has 101 in scouting. Well, it's just 1-1. Here, I'll just take a screenshot and then we can compare it. So for some reason some of the resources don't duplicate. They don't duplicate, right? And I don't know what the deal is. So like on the county improvement data, I had to write this thing where it copies it all again or creates a new one or whatever. So when I do, if you do .duplicate, it's not duplicating correctly or at all sometimes. It just gives you an empty one. So I had to do this new copy. So that's that part I know what I'm talking about, is where I'm talking about, like, is it doing this copy thing or is it doing the duplicating thing? Part of that could be that I didn't know that you had to put export on everything for that to work. So I don't know. What happens to the nukes both in where? Oh wait, did I miss a thing? When there's always problem with the people closer. I heard the Ukraine wants to get nukes again. I mean, it kind of makes sense. But yes, I think everyone would like that well, I guess not everyone. Most people would like nukes to be non-existent or some sort of thing. Let's see. So we can check this. I took a screenshot of that. We go back over here. We look at these resources. Are these different? Okay, so these are the same. That doesn't necessarily mean it's because how much time's passed? 0 time has passed pretty much. So let's do this. We can test this. I'm pretty sure we tested this elsewhere. I think I'm talking about at the faction level. Is that I was worried that this isn't working at the faction level, so I put that in there. I should have put better notes. So let's do this. There's an easy way for us to test this. Let's restart this. And then let's build like a Fisher shed in one, not a Fisher shed. No, Fisher shed's good. It's construction level. Well, let's look. How much construction does it take? It doesn't tell us, so we got to fix that too. That's like I completely forgot about the actual number. Kind of a major thing to forget about here. Uh, Actual construction cost number needs to be in county improvement panel. Yeah, that's pretty huge. I got all sidetracked with the different goods and things that it requires that I was there at one point. Must have deleted. Maybe it was there. All right, we'll put that next. This looked like that was working, but I want to test it some more. It actually didn't look like it was working. It didn't take the person off the research thing. Oh, but I think that's how I made it. I think that was on purpose. I can't remember. We'll have to look. We're going to construct one of these. We're in Portland. Yeah, so everyone always says to read for like the anarchy stuff. It's called Dispossessed. It's a Ursula K. Le Guin sci-fi story. All right, the Fisher's Shed is working. We have 5 people working there. Let's let a day go by. Also, we should be getting scavenging a different amount of scrap. So this is more, oh look, we found some cow goods and we got a bunch of fish. We'll go over here, check this resources. And yeah, these are wildly different. You are seeing exceptions when the game starts. It's quite terrible. I hate them. So what it is I have something that's happening before the game starts, and if I build the game first, I get these errors. But then if I play it after that, the errors go away. And I think it's a Godot issue. I think it's actually something busted with Godot. See, so now I don't get them. But if I run it, well, I have to have changed something. It's not going to do it this time, I don't think. I Googled the shit out of it and I couldn't find it. But let's pretend I changed something. I actually don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's enough to cause just one line to redo everything. Yeah, it is. So even just adding a new line. So it runs, so I know what it is that's causing it. Where are we here? They're at the very top. Except I just turned them off. It thinks, so it's basically, it's a getter setter that is firing when the inspector is doing something. So like when you hit start, the inspector, it checks the inspector and that fires the getter setter that causes these things to pop off. So that way, if you build it, it already fires those things off ahead of time, and then if you build it, and I can't remember, I don't think I've exported it actually since this started happening, but we'll see when we get to the next export stage, which we're getting closer. Anyways, back to the Ursula K. Le Guin's Dispossessed book is like the Anarchy 101 book, like if you're like an anarchist and, with like the punk rock anarchy. Everyone says read it. It's really good. You should read it if you haven't. But there's this other book which I can't remember the name, so it's I don't know why I keep bringing it up. But in this other book, it's like this is the Anarchy 102 is when you get to the like the libertarian style anarchy where there's different police forces that you have to pay money if you want like the blue cops to get you versus the red cops. You got to pay all these different. But anyways, in the book, there's one guy who owns nukes. He's just some dude who owns nukes. And it's actually really good. If you can find this book, which I don't know the name of, and that's my description, it's the Freeman Bears arm things. The one guy, it's just when some rich guy has a bunch of nukes in the middle of the city. Because that's how far the whole thing, it's quite ridiculous, but it's also shows the problems with libertarianism, I guess. Um, I think that these are copying. I'm just going to close this. If we run into the issue, we will figure it out. Um, let's put this down a little bit. I guess actually, no, let's do this. How much time do I have? Okay, I have another hour, and this is a good break time. We got to do some. I was just saying if there's anything easy I could take off the list. We're down to 25. The book is really good. I haven't read it for 20 years, so once again, this is going. Whenever I'm talking about books, I'm always like, "Oh my god, this is the best book ever. You should read it." And then someone reads it, and they're like, "This book kind of sucks." And then when I reread it, I'm like, "Oh, you're right. It isn't that good," because my memory just remembered certain parts of it. But anyways, wherever this book was, I remember it being pretty good because it was like a detective novel where the guy I was having to like interact with all of this crazy, like I said, there's these different, like they're color coded, and you had to pay, like, if you call the cops, you got to pay the right cops. And I don't know, the whole thing it was a similar story. I think in Dispossessed, people from Earth are visiting this planet, and um, it's like an anarchy planet with like the punk rock style of anarchy. And then in this other one, I think people are visiting from Earth, but it's like the libertarian death spiral of anarchy, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me put my timer up, and let me pause my music that you guys can't hear, and I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I am back, and let me turn on my break timer. I was thinking about this outside, and I had a thought of a way to do this, and then immediately left my brain. I think we can just put the cost here. It might. So here's a better example to look at. It might be confusing if you put like 100 here, and then it has these down here. We need another thing. Actually, we need to change the name of this. I had another thought too, is we should probably translate it into Spanish to make sure that's looking as good as we can have it look. So we need goods, construction goods cost, or something like that. So let's do another phrase here, since we have this open and we have got to re-import it anyways. Construction costs will leave. We'll go phrase construction goods cost. Construction goods. Sure. How about we just say construction goods? And we want that to be title, so capital. There we go, and we'll go back and we'll fix that title. Let's get rid of this population row here. We don't need that right now. We're gonna go to this, and we're gonna rename this goods. And do I have this thing on my clipboard? I do not. Put this in here and get rid of that. Save this, and then we're gonna need another title that I think we're hiding this whole thing. We're gonna need another label. I hope we're hiding this whole thing. Whoops. We'll put this up here, and we'll say construction cost. I guess I could have done this differently. Construction cost. Yeah, we'll do it like this. You know, I wanted those numbers earlier. Last stream, I think I wanted besides the percentage, I wanted a number, and it wasn't built in. Maybe we should put this up here, and we can put the percentage and the numbers. Where's our progress? We're in prioritize, progress, title, bar. Let's put it underneath here. And then we'll do like slash something. This isn't going to work. We're going to have to change this, but that's okay. We're going to need another thing in here. Progress. We're going to need export public. This is a label. Construction cost. We're going to do that. We're going to go back to here. We're going to build this thing. Yeah, so back to this 5 errors that show up. I either need to put in an issue. I need to put in an issue with Godot and see if it's Godot, or if someone just says no, you can't do that. That could be another thing, is they just say no, you can't do that. But I guess I'll wait until we get to the what's going on here? Oh, I was building. Well, I guess I'll wait until I export and see if it happens in exporting. So this should be under progress now. Construction cost is at the bottom. And This isn't gonna work though. We gotta re-import. My cord's going crazy here. This thing, and it's not gonna work with this open. So let's save this. Let's close this. Let's re-import this. There we go. But I don't actually want this to say just construction cost. So I guess what we're doing isn't, we're going to want to put this down in here somewhere. Update construction status. This is this thing. This is this crazy switch. Under construction is going to need, right here we can do it. What does this say? Progress bar. Construction cost dot text is going to equal county improvement data. No, it's not. It's going to equal $ equals squigs tr. Phrase. Do I have this shit on my clipboard? The answer would be no. I'm just gonna copy this over. I always have this fear that something that I'm gonna typo it or something, and then I'm gonna be wondering why shit isn't working. This needs to go in there. Then we need, I guess we can just get rid of this quote. We need a space. We need a colon, then a space, then current amount of construction. We're going to put this down here so that it's easier for you guys to read it over here. Control Windows V is a little clip. You know, I think someone was telling me about that the other day. Then we want a slash. Then we want county improvement data. What did I call it? Max amount of construction. And then where are, I think this is all we need. Yeah, I think somebody was telling me that recently. I think it actually was at work. No, it was definitely at work. I'm an IT guy at work, and someone was like, oh, I just use this thing. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What does it look like? Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't. No, it was this. It was this thing. Is what they exactly. Yeah, they were. Someone at work was just showing me this the other day. And they would like edit stuff in here. Oh, I guess not. What were they doing? Oh, and it's pasting it in there. Huh. I just use like, I love Notepad. I just put everything in Notepad. I usually just have like one Notepad open like all day and just use it as a temp thing. Whoops. Thank you though. All right. Did we rerun this? Looks like we did. Let's go to our county improvements. We don't have any progress because nothing's been built yet. Did I drag that thing over? Phrase construction costs. That didn't work. Did we not do this right? Translate phrase construction cost. How does this other part look? Colon 50. I have a feeling it's like this is not working. Let's see here. It still did. Maybe phrase construction cost. Did I just mess with that one? It's always something with the translating thing. It's always got some problem. Let's sort this. Data. I want A. English, no. I want cell values. I want it to be A. Column A. There we go. And then phrase, construction cost. That looks like it's there. Oh, what did I have? Oh, I have a typo. I see. This is exactly what I was talking about. It doesn't actually matter that this one is wrong. But, well, that means that other thing has a typo in it. It was construction goods. It's missing an S. Well, we want a capital S. Okay. Then let's go back to where was that? Construction goods is missing an S, which is down here now. We're going to rename this thing too. And then this, except this should say good. Goods. It's always got to be fucking something, right? Translate. I read this thing on Reddit recently. Where there's somebody's been editing the Wikipedia Scots page. I don't know if that's how you, the Scots language. They have like 60,000 pages they added, and they didn't know any Scots. I don't know if it's Scots or Scotch. I think it's Scots. And so they've just been making it up and like occasionally using Google Translate to fix stuff. And I guess this was years ago, and so that the pages are all like wrong, and people have been like using it as a reference for the language, and everything's all jacked up. Yeah, 60,000. So they've been doing like 6 or 7 pages a day for years, for like 6 or 7 years. And oh look, now we got more problems. Construction goods, because I didn't add the S to this. I did not add the S to this. Okay, construction goods. This is saved. We gotta close this. We gotta re-import this. And then we gotta run this. Yeah, and so then it was just some guy just figured it out on Reddit because he did speak the language, and he was looking up some reference of, and he found, oh look, there's a Wikipedia page for this, and then he looked at it, he's like, what is this? And so the guy, like in have you seen the movie Train Spotting? There's like the guys with like the thick Scottish accent, but it's an accented English. And so the guy was using like that. I don't know if Train Spotting was his reference. I don't think it was, but he was just accenting English. Oh, and there's no, I couldn't find, I wanted to find a response from the guy who was doing the editing to like see what he was thinking. And they don't think he actually was trying to be malicious about it. They think he was just, yeah, but it was just like accent in English. It wasn't even like using, and so like, I guess there's been this argument about the Scotch, I think it's Scotch. I don't know. I keep flip-flopping. Is it a real language or not? And this is like a legitimate argument that people have been having, and they've been pointing to these, yeah, so you think it's an accent. The Scottish Scots, yeah. So people have been pointing to this Wikipedia as an argument that it isn't a real language, but in reality, the guy who did, yeah. So anyways, I was trying to find a response from the guy, but I couldn't find one. But most people think he thought he was doing a good job. Let's construct the lumberjack too, because it has a lot more. Okay, this is working. And that was not painful at all. That was easy. We just made this, and I wanted this the other day, and now we have it. Let's let it run a little bit and see if this updates, right? It should. Then a couple of days go by. The warehouse is completed. So this one, what happened here? This should have turned off. This should be gone. We broke something else. I wonder if it's, whoops. I was going to say, I wonder if it's a time related. Let's let a day go by. No, it doesn't. So something weird happened here. Check for construction resources. If it's under construction, it should update. You know what? We're probably hiding something weird. Construction container is being hidden. When we hide everything, what is this update? So this just updates the progress bar and stuff. It should, am I looking at this wrong? Because I thought we double checked this like 40 times. Construction progress is 0. This should not be shown at all at this point. Let's go back to our thing here. We have hide everything, so it should hit this. And that should hide. Are we getting any bugs down here? No. That should hide this thing. Did I unpause that, or did it unpause itself? That's been another thing that I always am trying to keep an eye on. Construction panel hide. Construction panel is this one. Well, we know it's not hidden. So this is the thing. Let's double check, but that should be. Construction. So this isn't the construction panel. This is the progress panel. The progress panel is hidden. That's this. And it has our construction costs in here. It's this whole thing. So it goes through. I think we just missed something when we rearrange this to make it less painful. The prioritize actually should be up 1. The progress panel is hidden. Where are we going here? Do we not have any check? Progress panels are shown and under construction, but they're not hidden again after this, but they should be getting recreated. Producing the prioritize. Am I looking at prioritize? I'm looking at prioritize. So only under construction is when it should be shown. I'm remembering. I'm remembering. This is right, because we're going to rename this. Yeah, it's interesting because there were some definite words, because in this article they were talking. Yeah, I don't know. There was like some eye slime or something going on. I felt some, like, what do they call that? Sleep dust or something. I think we were going to change this construction progress to show the build progress. I think that's actually what we were going to do. I don't remember earlier if that was there, and I think it was, and I just didn't remember that that's what we were doing. I think we're going to change this to show the production progress after the construction progress. So what we'd want to do is hide. Actually, maybe we can have the production cost there. I think that's what's going on here. I don't think this is a problem, actually. I think this is something that I haven't gotten to fix yet. So I'm going to leave that how it is. This works, though, so let's get this thing out of here. And then let's go through and see if there's any easy ones, because I only got 30 minutes or so. Make it so that the warehouse actually does something. We need a tooltip. We need a bunch of tooltips. Let's put this towards the bottom here. Under construction, need to be at the top of the current county improvement container. I think we already did that. In fact, we can see right here that this one is done and the under construction ones are at the top. So that's done. We can get rid of this one. I don't remember how many. I should have looked at how many issues we started with at the beginning, but I think it was near 30. Oh yeah, this is a thing. This is this thing, I think. It's got this huge list of things that I put in there. We'll deal with that. We're not going to create issues after all. This might be a next round. Test that checking and charging for county improvements is working. Oh, we'll do this. This is a good thing to test. I think it is working because I saw something earlier. What it's talking about is it wants to, so when you build something, it's supposed to check to show this button if there's enough resources to be built, for that to be built. So currently nothing requires anything, so that's kind of makes it difficult. This requires 500 influence, and this requires some weird amount of influence, and then some other, like 1 remnant and 1 wood, which pretty much everything should have. Let's check their resources. Yeah, we start out with 1 wood and stuff. So let's jack up the price of one of these things, and then we can. That will be an easy test here. Let's go. Let's just add like a garden. Let's add something to our garden. We haven't added anything new. For our garden, we'll say that it costs wood. We got to do this right, though. We got to do this right. If we do it wrong, it doesn't work. So we got to do it right. This goes in here, and we'll say it costs 500 wood. Then we add this key value pair. We'll save it. We'll do this thing. Yeah, so I don't know if they, because I guess this happened a couple years ago, back to the Scots thing, but I guess they were trying to get volunteers to go through and delete those pages, or they were thinking about like just deleting every page. The guy, because the guy was eventually made an admin for that, the wiki of that part. What do we do? Garden costs 500 wood, so this is not working because we don't have 500 wood. So it shouldn't show the construction. Well, let's double check. I mean, we shouldn't have 500 wood. We don't. I had a feeling, which is why I put that issue in, that I messed with something and I was like, I think we broke. All right. So if we go check, I think that's in the banker. I really got to start breaking these apart, though. Maybe we'll look at the one thing I was talking about. Charge for building. Check building cost. Let's make sure that this is actually in its spot. So here it is. Check for construction resources. If the banker, it's checking the faction level, or it's passing in the player faction. That's not going to work. When we do this, I'm going to put a note in here. Currently passing in the player. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because let's put this note in here anyways. The player faction data if the AI needs to use this, then we need to have it pass in a different faction data. So this is currently just used for the AI, but I think that, yeah, this is also using the left click. So this whole thing is player based. So that is getting checked. Well, I guess we don't know that. I was just thinking about something else. I was just thinking, what was that thing that Levin said earlier? Control G? Yeah, I gotta remember that because I'm gonna use that all the time. Check for construction resources. This is in the county improvement container, and we messed with this switch, and that might be what happened here. Good God, I'm clicking, right clicking and shit. Okay, so the default is check for construction resources. This is if its default is status none. So when it is in the possible list, is that true? It must be. Do we have the shit running? We do have the shit running. Can we look at this in our remote? Let's see. Possible. Oh, it's going to give us a status of 0, which is none. Let's double check that. I mean, it should be, right? Status is none. Yeah, okay. So that is fine there, I hope. So if county data is null, okay, so this was for the research part because we were getting a bug where we clicked here and it would bug out when we clicked on one of these. Let's put a note in here so that I remember that. This is here so the county improvements can be shown in the research panel. Ma Twog, how's it going? 8 months as a .NET backend developer. I'll use no other tech stack. What should I learn to get ready to job switch? Well, it sounds like you know more about it than me already. What? I don't know. Chat might have a better answer. A .NET backend dev for C Excel library team. The thing is, we only use object-oriented PS with .NET or daily, no other tech stack in this. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm a noob. Chad, I don't know if you guys can help him out. It'd be nice if you could. I'm just learning Godot, which I don't think Godot is very job oriented. C# is much more. You're gonna have a hard time finding a Godot job, I think, versus like a C# job. And obviously this is C#, but okay. So what are we doing wrong here? At some point, this went south. We go, and it worked for a while. So this is returning true. And this is that thing. I think it was this. This might be, we added this in later. Maybe it's always hitting, like the county data is always null. How are we passing this in? So the left click thing. Are you trying to get a job in India or elsewhere? Like, like a remote job. Yeah, that's another thing is like it's hard to tell in India. Yeah, I don't know what it is like there either. Um, I think a lot of it is just how you present yourself in interviews too. Like interviewing is like the if you're I don't know if, once again I don't know if in how it is in India, but in the United States the interview process is like the key thing. Yeah, that's probably a good idea to have a lot of projects that you've done that are different. So I noticed this with Godot. Like I'll start working on a new project that like so this is a real time 2D 4X game. There's no tile maps or any of that shit, and I'll be working on like another game. I'll fucking around with tile maps, tile layers, and I'll think in my head when I started, I'm not gonna. These are so different that I'm not gonna learn anything that they'll overlap. But it turns out like I'll be messing with something with a tile map later, and I'll be like, oh shit, this will actually work over in the 2D 4X. Isn't a way to make that better, or vice versa. Like I'll go and I'll run into something like, oh well, I know how to do this because I did it. So like having the different projects, I think, show too that do wildly different things would probably help a lot. Um, oh, my cat's on I call it the Vietnam run because he runs real low to the ground. He's scared about something. There's something going on. And there says that my camera is. No, that was just me. What are you doing, kitty? Is it raining? It's not raining. What's going on out there? No, he can hear better than me. I think it's this thing is happening. Let's look at this county. County, what did I say? Data. It's not that. We would have to. Yeah, it's not that. I don't think it's case sensitive, but let's pretend that it is. No, it's not. Coyote? I don't think coyotes would be around during the day, but it's possible. But he would have to. He's touchy. If so I have like it's like aluminum or something in my back porch, and when it rains, even the lightest rain, it sounds much louder than it is, and that usually is what freaks him out. He thinks like, and he looks at me like, "Why aren't you worried about this?" And I'm like, "It's why would I be worried about that?" Like, yeah, he's still looking around. He's like trying to sleep, but he's cautious. He's cautiously sleeping in the hallway. He's getting ready to run. So this is not happening. Check building cost. So that should happen every time. Let's put a GD print in here to make sure that it is doing something. Checking building cost ... And I called it building. Why? And then let's run this again. Yeah, I interviewed a couple of people for a software project a while ago, and the interview process was quite strange. Because I was on the other side. I've never interviewed as the programmer. Yeah, this is still showing. It was for online work, like not it. So it's definitely doing that. Let's do this again just to make sure that it's, yeah, okay. It's definitely doing that. It's not checking the right stuff. So then it goes through, if county improvement faction resource cost, we changed I added something. Maybe that's what's going on. The thing I put down there is a county resource construction cost. Did I put where did I put that? Did I put it in the right spot? No, I put it in input goods. So that's the problem, or that's a problem. Was that a garden? Trash can your ass. Not inputs, construction goods. We want this at the county level. And we want to put in wood. And we want to put in 500. We want to add the key value pair. It's GD print. It's pretty much the same. You might be, I don't know what happens if you put in debug. I don't think it likes it. Whoops, you gotta print it or type it right. I don't know where it would go. What happens? What am I looking for here? Oh, I fixed the thing. We put 500, I think. I just had it in the wrong spot. This won't show up yet. Oh my God. Yeah, it's not gonna show up yet, but we gotta get to the... Yeah, so I guess it just puts it in there too. Okay. All right, so this isn't working. I mean, this is working. I just had the shit in the wrong spot. So the construction thing is working. I just had it in the wrong place. Let's check a faction level thing too while we're at it. Let's double check everything. So on the scout, or sorry, the garden thing, let's add in a faction level. We'll put in money. We'll put in money because we don't have any money, but then we'll do like 500. And then we'll add the key value pair. So we should, we'll put this, we'll delete this one because that way we'll know that the faction level one's the thing holding it up. And oh, I meant to delete the debug thing, but okay, so the construction, we don't have any money, man. Oh wait, I do have, how did I get money? Did I add this thing? Yes, okay. How about that? How about that? I guess I gave myself $1,500 to start with. 1,500 ducats or something. All right, and it's gone. Perfect. So we have tested out. That's what this thing said to test, right? Test, check, charging for the checking and charging. Let's build something then. That's a good thing. That's probably what we're talking about here too. Let's look at my resources. Let's take a screenshot of this so we don't have to use our brain to remember things. Let's move this over here. And let's close this thing. Let's go to here. We need to construct this, so we should have one less wood and one less, whoops. One less wood and one less remnant. So that worked for this part. We did 78 influence. That worked up there too. All right, so that's working. Get this out of here. Do I have a thing in here for producing this stuff? Because I don't think, no, you know, it was producing stuff. We looked at it earlier. All right, let's go through this list. I only got 15 minutes left, so I gotta pick something easy to hopefully knock it out before the end of the stream. This one's gonna be somewhat large, so that's why because I gotta rewrite, I gotta rethink how this whole thing works. Because everything, it was, yeah. Pick between inputs such as wood. That's gonna be kind of a pain. Maybe they get paid more. This should be in this next round. We're not going to do that this round. Change using remnants to a button or something because the checkbox is invisible. That one we should bring up on the list. That's not going to be that hard. I don't think I can do it in 15 minutes, though. Maybe. The amount of resources a building generates every day should be on the possible building county control. I think that's already there. This is the goods produced. So that we already did that. We can just get rid of it. Can we get under 20? Under 20, that would be nice. And current amount of construction can be below max amount of construction if the building is damaged or needs maintenance. The building status would need to be the enum completed. Let's put this in the next round. We don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that right now. If the county improvement keeps track of who is working on it, when is built could be a getter setter. Then when it's marked true, it could just go through the list and remove everyone's county improvement instead of the dumb shit way we are currently doing it. What am I talking about here? Is built. What is the dumb shit way we're doing it? When we complete a building, when is built could be a getter setter, then when it's marked true, it could just go through the list and remove everyone from the county improvement. Complete building. It shouldn't be called building. It should be called improvement. I think I called it something. Okay, I guess not. Let's see. That's going to be under county data. Under county, check if improvements are done. Is this the dumb shit way? If the county improvement is done, make everyone working on it idle. Check if county improvement is done. Am I even using is built? I don't think I'm using that anymore. It doesn't even, I don't even think that exists. Is that like some old thing that I have in here? Control Q. What the hell is this? Search for menu, options, components, and templates. Whoops. Files. Search for files, types, and members. So let's pretend I'm looking for, what was I looking for? It doesn't exist though. Let's search for get lowest skilled. Let's say that's what is this? The fuck is this thing? I don't want this package. I don't want this. Get this away from me. You can search every method. This searches for every method though too. Whoops, I have a typo in here. Let's go back to Control Q. Let's close this thing. Q. And then we want code search probably. Oh, I see what you're saying. Can we make this bigger? Not what I want. This is interesting. I didn't know this existed either. So let's put in something, let's put in is built. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, I don't think it exists anymore. I don't use that because I didn't know it existed. Um, number built? No, I'm just now I'm doing the ocular search, searching with my eyes because it might be called something else. Built. I think that was an old thing. We do have a dumb shit way to do it though. I'm pretty sure. How much time? Thank you again. But see, I gotta remember. So Control G. That one I'm definitely use all the time. Control Q. Can we make it so that it defaults to this thing? I'm never gonna look for features. Less clicks is better. Can I do this? It doesn't know to search. Huh. It's like 90% there. I don't think that exists anymore. Let's go back to the what I'm gonna use that search. What the fuck was I just looking at? Control Q, but then I need to go back to, it wasn't completed. I guess I gotta go this way. Check if county improvement is done. Get in here. So it goes through the under construction list. If the county improvement is done, make everyone working on it idle. Set their current work to null. Check if county improvements are done. Look at this. This is the only difference between these is an S. No, are done. So then this is just that bool, or that thing that just returns a bool. Where the fuck was this thing? And then it makes them idle. I mean, who gives a shit? We'll just leave it here until, we'll just get rid of this. Whoops, not that one. This doesn't matter. Whoops, I don't want to delete it. It doesn't really matter at this point, and we'll have to rewrite everything anyways. And when we get to the rewrite, I do want to do this part, and I want to put a note here because I thought about this more. I want you to get back half of your resources. Return half of the resources of the cost of building it, which means we will need to remember if the county improvement was built. Remember what the county improvement was built with, because it could have been built with remnants. I finally know how to spell remnants, I think. I tried to save the website. It happens. All right. Pick between, we're kind of where we have that, but I think we want to do, this needs to be with, I don't know why I'm moving this shit around all the time. Add a label why improvement is not being, county improvement button, create individual issues for things that aren't done. Let's look through this and see if we can close this. Influence cost, money cost, material cost, it's done. Amount of work cost. That's not done, but we have a thing. Use remnants checkbox, produce as needed, input materials, output, builders needed, workers, adjust button for lower and raise, and we did that. Maybe assign workers to county improvements by least number of workers instead of the current way. I don't know what I'm talking about there. I have a general idea what I'm talking about there, but I don't care about it that much. That would be a weird way to do it. It would go through, I mean, not a weird way. It would go through and it would look at every county improvement, and it would be like, if you have 0, add 1, add 1, add 1. I think with the prioritize buttons, we kind of, and with the adjustable number of workers, we kind of take care of that. Prioritize button for working, we already did that. Progress, we did that. Multiple days for the construction, we haven't done that, but it's got its own issue in there. Some finished goods will have a work cost, and it will take multiple days. That's already in there. Possibly have some sort of different resource or bool for finished goods. I mean, we'll see if we need that. We can close this thing. We've broken that into its own things as we ran into them. As needed, we have that. Oh, it needs a tooltip. Yeah. Redo the county improvement data cost dictionary with enums. We're not going to do this. We aren't going to do this because in the inspector, enums show as their number, and that is BS. Okay, close with the comment. What I'm talking about is so that thing earlier where I was like, oh, this is going to show as a 0. In the inspector, not always. Some things you can pick, like if you pick here, you can pick with the enum, you can pick the type of enum that you got here. But when it's running and it's being assigned and stuff, it returns the number in the inspector, and that's just not useful to me at all. Like, I can look up the number, I can go through the enums and be like, oh, okay, it's a 7 or whatever. But I don't like that at all. So it's kind of defeats the purpose of having it in the inspector if it's not words. That's like the whole reason I use enums. We could all just use numbers, and we're going to use numbers, and nothing would be readable. So that's why that is not useful right now. And I hope one day they fix that, because it sure would be nice. Them adding the dictionary thing, though, that was like a huge game changer. This dictionary thing that I'm using on all of these things, that's great. In the debug, it's less of an issue up here and more of in the inspector. And it's only when certain stuff, when it's been assigned, and also in like here, if these for a while, these were enums. Let me go back to one. Like here, these were enums. Yeah. Oh, a Godot attribute? I don't think so. This is brand new that you can put this in here. And I Googled a little bit, but it's too new. It's in this developer branch. I guess, is that a branch? I guess it's a branch. Make it so that warehouse actually does something. We definitely got to do that. For some reason, people can work at the warehouse. Is that true still? Let's build a warehouse here. It would be nice. It would be really nice. I think they just haven't, the warehouse is completed. I think they just haven't added it in yet. That's the Fisher shed. I don't think this is true anymore. I wonder if we can see, I don't know if I use the C# list. I think it's a C# list. I don't think we can see this list in the inspector. I could convert it to a, whatchamacallit. This is panel, this is this panel. If we can see a number, though, what is that called? People working at something or other. In fact, I bet you we can't even show this in the inspector with its current way. We're gonna have to, because we're gonna need to save this. Let's look. I bet you we're gonna have to convert it to a Godot collection. Population, yeah, it's a C# list. So I'm gonna have to convert that because I can't put an export in front of it. I don't think. Give me my errors or don't give me my errors. Well, it's not giving me an error. Let's see what happens. We'll have a catastrophe if it. I know it. I know it won't. I just need to know the number in there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can't export this, so I'll have to convert this to a C# list or a Godot list. I got 1 minute. I might be able to do it in 5 minutes. Let's see what happens. Oh, but I can't put a thing in there. I can't put a generic type in there. I mean, I got to put a thing in there. I did this in another. There's a way to do this. Oh, it's coming back to me. I would have to change county population to a resource, which isn't the end of the world. It's the only public class that I'm using currently because whatever. It doesn't matter because that's what I was doing originally. That is just data, like just a data class. So I'd have to convert this to a resource. So that is not going to take 5 minutes. That's going to take a while. And I think we're going to have to do it because what the deal is you can't save stuff unless it has export on there. So we'd have to convert this to a resource, which isn't going to be the end of the world, like I said, but it's not going to be pleasant. Let's do something real quick, then I'm going to call it a day. Let's set up, did I do this? Because saving and loading is here. So here's a good example, actually, of what I was talking about earlier, where I was fucking around with my other tile map game. I'm actually on the saving and loading part of that game, and it works great. Except that I learned that you got to have it, everything has to be exported. I guess we'll leave this. I was going to close that, but I guess I'll leave that there. And it also made me start thinking about how much I need to be prepared to save this shit, because it's going to be pretty massive endeavor, and there's a bunch of shit that's set up incorrectly for saving. And so that's going to be on the list. I think it should be, let's do this then. Let's add a new column. Disk IO, sure. What am I doing? One of these now? Actually, let's not call it that. Saving and loading is what we're going to call it. Whoops. And we're going to save this. Can I send this over here? We did this the other day, and I was like, yes, that's the way to do it. I guess I can't send these over. Come over here. Oh, this is when it goes south. This is when this thing doesn't work very well. I wish I could just move it. There's got to be, right? Just a move? No. No, there isn't. Because now I got to do this dog shit. We get over there. Leave a little sliver of it. Maybe you're not supposed to be moving around your columns. Isn't this owned by Microsoft? Don't they have the money to fix GitHub? Fix this one thing for me? I'm probably the only person who complains about this. Everyone else is like, nah, that's fine, whatever. Maybe there's a way you can add it in, like here. Like, instead of in that one plus spot. I went too far. All right, Control Q, Control G. Got to remember for that for tomorrow. Then the real thing. We want this to be over here. I wanted this over here because we're gonna actually start addressing this pretty quick. Probably after we merge scouting equipment with main, we'll probably do the saving and loading. And we're going to not make this an issue because these aren't issues. They're just things. Heroes next, which is not what we're gonna do. Because we need to make this compatible with saving before we dig our hole too deep. The same reason why we're doing localization is to keep the hole not deep. So the reason I wanted this was, though, convert county population to a resource so it can be exported. Period. That's going to be one of the major things here. And we'll do that, later. All right, let's push this code to this branch. What did we do today? We got to closed a few smaller issues such as construction costs. The rest of the thing, I think we were just like testing shit mostly. Minor little things. Let's push this up there. Let's close this thing. I should have closed that first. All right. We're all set. Thank you guys for joining me. Levin, thank you for the tips. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, most likely. And